Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I'm Peter Gross, co-host of the original Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins and Jim Fowler. Throughout the years of filming Wild Kingdom, we were faced with the grim reality of extinction of some animal species. In the early 60s and 70s, animals were negatively impacted by the loss of habitat and the use of a chemical insecticide known as DDT. Today, DDT has been banned in the United States, and we've made great strides to preserve wide open spaces where animals can thrive. Wild Kingdom made a direct impact on modern captive breeding and release programs, and we're now seeing a positive comeback from many species. We must all do our part to continue this progress to protect all animals in the Wild Kingdom. So sit back and relax and enjoy Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom is presented by Mutual of Omaha.
This is the high country of the Canadian Rockies. Here on a rugged slope, a mother cougar guards her den. Her youngster wanders below, alone now, driven off by the female cat. He is the unwanted cougar. Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. This is one cougar that has things pretty soft. Even in the wild state, a 7-month-old cub like this one has a comparatively easy life because a cougar mother is a most devoted parent. After its birth, a cub's mother usually cares for it a year or more, providing food and protection and instructing it in the art of the hunter. But when the time finally comes for the mother to bear another litter, her growing youngster must leave. Generally, it's a reluctant parting, hastened only by the mother's savage attacks whenever the confused youngster approaches. This is the most critical period in the life of a young cougar. For the first time, it's entirely on its own. We followed the adventures of one cougar shortly after it was driven off from its den in the Rocky Mountains of southern Canada. We call our story The Unwanted Cougar.
Spring has come to the high country, and though chill air still clings to the peaks, lengthening days mark winter's end. On a rocky slope, a female cougar nervously surveys the valley below. With the changing season has come a sudden desire for seclusion, but her territory is alive now with new activity. Elk have climbed again to the mountain meadows, grazing in the wake of the retreating snow. Nearby, a red fox hunts for the small animals drawn out of their hibernation burrows by the warming sun. A black bear, fresh from his first winter sleep, lazily searches for new grass, while a wolf watches the grazing elk from the valley's rim. The cougar tenses. Her year-old youngster is approaching, his steps cautious and hesitant. She has driven him off repeatedly in recent weeks whenever he tried to return to her and the den they once shared. Again, he tries to come home. Once more, the young cougar is driven off by his mother's savage attack. She never leaves the den now, guarding it constantly, and the confused yearling must again return to the valley. He does not understand why he can no longer go home, why his mother attacks whenever he comes near. Ahead, a fisher hurrying to its den passes too close to the red fox. Though it is stronger, the fisher prefers not to fight, but the fox gives it no choice. The yearling does not join the chase. He has seen something that interests him more, the elk herd. Winter's hardships over, their days are spent grazing and caring for the young. As the cougar watches unseen, a young cow that has grazed off alone hurries to rejoin the herd. The yearling follows. But he is not yet the stealthy hunter his mother is, and the elk sees him. Escape back to the herd is blocked. The cougar is hidden by the ridge of rock, and the panicked elk searches anxiously for its enemy, while the young cat watches from above. The yearling has never before hunted such large prey alone. Cornered and desperate to reach the herd, the elk attacks. The kicks are powerful, and the surprised cat retreats to the safety of the high rocks, letting the elk escape. With painful reminders of the elk's sharp hooves, the yearling moves deeper into the valley. A hunting wolf has also followed the elk. And now, angry and aching, the cougar gives chase. From this ridge near his den, the young cat sees another intruder, the black bear, foraging at the base of a tall pine. His wounds still spur his anger, and in the yearling's excited state, the bear's presence seems a challenge. The blows are brutal, and the bear presses the attack. The young cat soon realizes the bear is more than he can handle today. The kicking elk and the chases have taken their toll. Tired and sore, he retreats instinctively to the den. But again, his mother bars the way. He can only stand and look at something he has never seen: newborn kittens. The baby cougars now occupy the rocky shelter. The new litter, helpless and dependent, must now be his mother's only concern. He is the unwanted cougar.
The young cubs grew quickly, and in several months they were big enough to leave their den and explore the area close by.
For the growing cubs, the sunlit hours are filled with endless play outside the den. At their age, they are vulnerable to many predators, and their mother must often discourage their urge to wander off alone. She only leaves them to hunt. Above the playful cubs, the yearling watches unseen, still refusing to abandon the rocks that have been his home. With 2 energetic cubs to feed, the mother's hunting trips are frequent now. The yearling waits for these times when the den is left unguarded. Now the cubs play alone, and as often before, the yearling moves to join them. Today, the cubs are not content to stay near their den. They leave to discover what lies beyond the rocky ridge, and the yearling follows. Though the cougar fears no valley animal, some would find the young cubs easy prey. The yearling leads the way as they enter the valley. In weeks past, he has become a familiar companion to the cubs, visiting the den often when their mother is away on a hunt. Today, he must be their protector, too. The wolf follows a deer trail above, and the cougar tenses into a stalk. The cubs would have no chance against this hunter. The wolf will not return soon, but the chase has carried the yearling far from the 2 cubs. They've spotted an animal new to them, a white-tailed deer, a young doe. She is the prey the wolf was hunting. And now the cubs take up the stalk, unaware of how hopeless it is. The deer is much too fast and agile. She easily outruns the cubs, but what they lack in skill, they make up in persistence. A safe distance away, she resumes grazing. Her tail, raised when she's alarmed, shows they're getting too close. A safe distance away, the tail lowers again. But the cubs will not give up. Finally, she must look for a more peaceful grazing ground, leaving the youngsters far behind. Though easily outrun, the cubs are filled with a swollen sense of their own power after chasing the nervous deer away. Now they've spotted a dangerous prey, the black bear. With the confidence of youth, they approach, expecting all animals to retreat from their attack. Finally, the yearling sees them. The bear could easily kill the cubs. This time, the yearling fights with the fury of an animal protecting its young. The squeals of the playful cubs alarm the yearling. A quick look assures him all is well. Once again, the squealing cubs distract their defenders. The bear will stay in the treetop. The cubs are safe once more.
The weeks passed quickly, and before long the chill of autumn was in the air. And still the yearling remained near the den, joining the cubs whenever they left to roam the nearby countryside.
Fall winds blow through the high country, plucking the dead leaves. Already streams are beginning to freeze, but the yearling has stayed near his former den, a constant companion to the cubs whenever their mother leaves them. Alert to any sign of danger, he guards them from harm. The icy stream banks are a new experience to the youngsters. With the awkward cubs safely ashore, the yearling carefully tests the ice. Farther up the bank, the cubs surprise a beaver that has been cutting branches to store for winter when the bark will provide food. The cougars cause the beaver no alarm. Its sharp teeth are an adequate defense against these youngsters. The cubs have learned that when their prey doesn't retreat, they should. The beaver moves to continue its work at the fallen tree just as the yearling comes to the cub's defense. With the cubs safely away, the yearling abandons the fight. The beaver is no longer a threat, and its only thought is escape. The yearling relaxes as the cubs chase pine cones. The battle ended. The tired and hungry cubs leave the frozen beaver pond to return to their den. As they climb the last ridge, a mountain goat watches their approach. It has come down from the high peaks where it lives to visit a salt lick in the valley, keeping a cautious watch for predators. short horns are sharp, and with the uncertain footing, the cubs are in real danger. The goat is distracted by the yearling climbing to meet it. A peaceful animal, except when threatened, the goat signals a warning by stamping its feet. The cougar's anger gives way to curiosity at the goat's strange behavior. He has never seen a mountain goat before. They live higher than he has ever climbed. In weather conditions he could not endure for long. The goat's agility is too much for the yearling. He abandons the chase. The cubs hurry along a familiar trail also familiar to the yearling. It leads to the den, and as they enter, their mother is waiting. She has returned from hunting to an empty den, but her cubs have come home safely. Now the yearling moves to join them. Still the unwanted cougar, he is driven away. Instinctively, the cubs try to follow their companion. They do not go far, and the yearling leaves them behind, never to return. Protecting the cubs, he has developed the self-reliance that now sets him free. He leaves this valley to find another. The unwanted cougar begins life on his own.
Boy, are you getting heavy. There you go. The unwanted cougar finally left his home for good. The raw hunting skills his mother had taught him became more developed with practice, and soon he was as self-reliant as she, master of the new territory he claimed in the high country of the Rockies, far from his former den. With game plentiful, he should thrive there. The cougar has only one enemy to fear: man. For centuries, these great cats have been hunted relentlessly, till now they occupy only a fraction of their former range. They have retreated to the high country, where their great intelligence and adaptability have preserved their place in the wild kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Like what you saw? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more exclusive content. And visit our website at wildkingdom.com.